What up? My name is Chaxi Erosh is in the building. We are the Just Kidding Podcast.
It's not a building, bro. It's not a building. We are recording from my backyard, by the way. What can I say? You should all be thankful that I invited you to my place. Sawa?
Clearly, bro.
Clearly.
We know where you live.
You know, let me tell you about the story about this
I've
tree.
never seen trees where you live.
Let me show you. What do you
That's
mean?
the most fucked up thing about urbanization. Urbanization forgot about trees and flowers. So just cut the crap.
We're making our guests a bit. You know, I cannot invite you to my house and
then you all start fighting.
Yeah, you know.
But listen, we have the amazing Porgie joining us for the last episode of December, man. The last episode of 2018, actually. What a bro.
Call me Santa.
Yeah. Sawa.
Santa ametupatia tu maji kidogo
Merry
vile.
Christmas. But then thank you for the water.
Yeah.
Imagine you high
But it's the least you could do since we have invited you to
your house. Yeah. Thank you, man. And you have a beautiful place, man.
Thank you, man.
I wish I could work in a place like
Let me ask you,
this.
Rosh. What again is this place called?
That's a long story, yeah. Check the link in the description. We'll give you like a.
Let me ask you guys, can you imagine if balloons were able to listen to music?
If it's a bad joke,
No, it's not a bad joke.
My friend,
So listen.
I will slap you. This is why this
Is that why you
here.
have sandals?
I thought you
Exactly.
brought me gifts. I thought
No.
going to be
This
like
is for slapping him.
every guest on
If
the
it's a bad
podcast
joke,
gets a
Gets
fresh pair of
no.
Of
sandals.
kicks and sandals. Can you,
That's a good idea, actually.
Imagine if balloons were able to listen to music, right? What is the genre of music that they would be most scared about?
Pop.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Santa
Hey,
is
Rosh, I
smart.
know you didn't get that.
I would have gotten it. I just thought that they would like music so much they would literally just blow up. That's what I thought. That's what was in my head. But that's not a genre, is it?
Erosh is different, you know.
Oh, yeah, no. I can imagine. But
That's
anyway,
why we
Porgie,
like you, man.
so let's get into the shits, You are one of the founders of a platform called MOOC,
Yes, I am.
which many people know MOOC as a platform where they can buy tickets to gigs, right?
Yes.
So there's an interesting story on how exactly MOOC came to be, and the idea behind the name MOOC as well. And maybe we can just fill us into what is that day when you sat down and decided, now we need to create this kind of platform, this is what we're going to call it, and this is what is going to go on the platform.
Okay.
And how long exactly it took to set up?
That day was in 2012.
Okay.
My business partner Eric Thimba and I were trying to sell a product, and we were actually changing hustles. I'd come from entertainment, he'd come from research, and we're like, we need to ingia biashara, because the guys who have money to spend in the bar and in where guys were in biashara, guys who get money daily, not us guys who get money 30th by 50 meisha, you don't have. So we're looking for another hustle. And the hustle we'd gotten into was a trading business where we wanted to sell a product. But we also didn't want to be locked in a shop. It's not the kind of people we are. We didn't want to open a duka and go sit there and hire some guys and become into stock take. We believed in the power of the internet, and so we were trying to get something that could work online. At that point, it wasn't something we were building for anybody outside of ourselves. So we went and looked for a developer to help us build an e-commerce site to be able to sell our product.
Yeah.
But the journey of building that took about 2.5 years. And somewhere in that 2.5 years, we realized that the problem was bigger than the two of us. That the thing that we were building, the need existed in event organizers, in musicians who were friends of ours, in other people who had bigger shops than us guys, who really needed to explore the potential of being online, which is where business exists now in the future, right? So one of the biggest challenges in building an e-commerce platform is figuring out payments, which is actually where the name MOOC came from. So MOOC stands for Mookhwanja.
Mookhwanja, I think Mookhwanja is a Sheng word, right?
Mookhwanja is a Sheng
Like
word.
it's very old dated.
It's like, I don't know if it's old dated. It's not a popular Sheng word. So some hoods
Mookhwanja.
use
Oh,
it.
yeah,
I knew
I
about
had
it.
Mookhwanja
Yeah.
must have been like a while ago. Actually.
Yes, 2012. That's what I'm saying. It was a long time ago, right? It was something that was. It was a word that was used in certain hoods and not in others. But in some hoods they would call Mookhwanja money Mookhwanja.
The first time I realized Mookh is came from Mookhwanja, it literally blew my mind. Right now my mind is not blown because.
Alikuwa na leakage.
Nilikuwa na leakage. But the first time I had it, it's like the other day we had a Thies on the podcast, and she said her name is from Adhiambo. This
The short form of Adhiambo is a this.
So me, I was just I like people who do crazy things. I like people who do crazy things with their name. So that's really.
Jack. So
anyway, I'm going to move on quickly from that.
Yeah. So Mookh, the name comes from Mookhwanja, and what we are trying to do as a business is help businesses make money online, make Mookh online. And one of the bigger things about online money is that it's bigger than local currency. It's not Kenya shillings. It's not
tangible.
It's not tangible. It's something that we could do this business in multiple countries as long as people can exchange that Mookh. Then we're good.
All right.
So that's where the basis of this business came from.
As long as people
can exchange that Mookh. Bro, like he's already giving money a title from their own business. But now I want to know in 2012, that is like 6 years ago, right? Why was it very essential for you guys to think about going online? Because for the longest time in Kenya, we used to buy tickets at the gate. Or not even, if not at the gate, they'd say tickets are available at these stalls.
I love how are people selling advance tickets back then?
Yeah, please
they weren't.
move closer to the mic, Arosh.
They were no. Okay, I'd rather the mic comes closer to me, man. But I don't like this dictatorship.
It's gonna hang.
You don't tell me what to do.
I'll tell you what to do. I just did, bro.
The master.
I thank God because it just moved.
I just spoke with me, just spreading tyranny. Anyway, so to people were not. How did you buy advanced tickets?
Locally?
Yeah.
It wasn't a big culture.
Yeah.
Right. Also because here's the thing. The thing about the internet is that it's an unknown world for many people.
Yeah.
In this region, it's something new to guys. So now when you get a smartphone, you can get internet. We know about email and stuff, but I'm not buying things online heavily.
Yeah.
I need to sign up. I need to give these guys my location of where I
personal
live.
information.
You
and all
reach
that,
there, the street address has 4 lines. You're like, me, I don't have 4 lines for my street address. So there were very many barriers to going online.
Yeah.
And the barriers were nothing big. It's just like smoke walls. It's just like you go there, it tells you register, put in your ID, and you're like, I just wanted a ticket. So for us, that was also the question. Why aren't people doing this? And it was coming from 2 places. I used to work in events. So as an event organizer, I know the power of advanced ticketing. I know the power of being able to plan because I already know who's coming. As a musician, I used to manage artists. The artist is building all this following on social media. It's important for them to be able to convert that following into customers, into people who can pay for things. So if I already get 1,000 people who will click my thing once I put it up, can I get them to click and buy without it being a 20-step process?
All right.
How do we make it super easy? So that's the thinking we had. And Eric, who's my business partner, has a background in trend research.
All right.
So online is a trend of the future. It's where everything is moving. One, it's more effective, but also it's just how things are going to work in a global economy. So for us, when we started, we didn't want anything to do. We weren't trying to become a ticketing company. We were setting up online business. Anything that you can do online, we want to be in the mix of it and make sure that especially the payment process for it is easy, it's safe, it's reliable, it's fast.
Isn't it exciting that you are like up on Mbele, especially in this market? Because people don't tell me I need to lean forward again.
I'll tell you if I want to. If I need to. I will tell you.
So isn't it a bit exciting considering Kenya is seen as kizungu ni mingi. It's seen as is it frontier? No. Like it's a hub. It's like Silicon Valley for East Africa.
Like Kenyans.
So
really
and you are right at the front. Isn't it a bit too exciting? Is it? Do you go public with buy shares because the way things are
coming
going?
coming soon.
And Nairobi's talking.
Like how does that feel to be like a trendsetter or? Would you consider yourself a trendsetter to some extent?
I'll tell you how it feels. Let me answer the how it feels
How
part.
does it feel?
He's gonna take
It
it back
feels
to the
tough, right?
It feels tough.
It feels tough because setting trends, right, is actually fighting existing trends.
Yes.
All
And
right?
change is
And
very
change
hard
is not received the way we look at it. So yes,
to adapt
we are
to
at
change.
the forefront
Yeah.
of this thing, but we're the guys who people are like, yo, but me I want to go buy a Tico at Nakumat.
Yeah.
You know, how come you?
Because I shop at Nakumat every day.
Exactly.
Why
Then they're
can't
like,
I
why
just
is this
get
thing
my ticket?
asking me for my email? Why does this
Yeah.
thing want my number?
Yeah.
So
My
there's
physical address and all those
there's
things.
certain things which, by choosing this path, we have chosen to educate. And yes, we're setting a trend, and we're the first or among the first people doing it in the region.
Yeah.
And the part that's exciting for us is the validation that we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So it's a tough road, but then if you're hooked on your little boat in the water, then you pass some other guys with another boat like yours, and they're like, hey, you guys have reached this far. You guys are doing well.
Yeah.
Even you're like, hiya, kumbe, we're not just paddling for nothing.
Yeah.
So to be where we are, and then we work with people like Microsoft, we work with people like Visa. That's validation that we are trend setting, that we are leading a pack. But the last 3 years of doing it, or being active,
They were
has
work.
just been uko in the rafters. Just
But you're talking about the rafters, and people predominantly assuming MOOC is the platform where they should go to buy tickets for events, right? But you see, MOOC is not just about selling event tickets.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
So now, how do you package this same MOOC and let guys know that you don't only buy event tickets from our platform, but if you are a musician, you can sell music through our platform. If you are an artist and you draw or you paint, you can sell your paintings and drawings on MOOC. And these other things, like if I'm opening a sneaker business, I can sell my sneakers on MOOC. So how do you change this mentality so that guys don't just click the website to buy tickets and they know that it's actually a store? Especially when the perception is already out there that if I want tickets, I go to MOOC.
sorry, December. So
Drink Semba.
drink Semba.
Okay.
I'll tell you the way we think about it and why we ended up starting with ticketing as the main thing. When you're going into an uncharted territory, you start with the low-hanging fruit.
All right.
So we looked at what are the things that people buy online, at least in Kenya. What are the things people are searching for online?
All right.
People search for events.
Okay.
People search for musicians. Then people search for products that are locally made. Those are three of the main things that they're looking for.
Wait, you said events, musicians, and products that are
musicians,
locally
and
made.
products that are locally made. So things that they can't just walk into the supermarket and buy.
I know
They're
someone
like-
who goes to search for porn all the time.
There's some of those as well, but that's difficult to sell.
He's looking at me actually.
Oh, you're talking about me?
No, I know your name. What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but if that's content that is out there,
You're
would you be
please proceed.
discriminating? I'm sure you can't discriminate. It's a product.
it's a product.
I know
but
you don't want to say it in public and in it, but on the low, if I had like a website and I hit him up, depending, you never know.
I'll
Mookh
power
could
your
plug in, bro.
payments. Your payments in the back for subscriptions.
You
I'll
see?
take that business.
You see what I'm talking about?
I'll take the
Yeah.
subscription business. But for us, it was what are the things people are looking for? And then we build the front end to be able to provide that. So the core of what we do online is we process payments. Me, I'm looking for people to go online and buy stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
They could be buying anything.
So quick
I
question.
don't care what you're buying. I
Alright.
want you buying things.
Let me just
You'll
interject
be able to
Yes.
process the payment.
Correct.
So, I have my website, for instance. Let's call it Mr. Kareke Money Santa December thingy. I want to sell Christmas gifts,
Yes.
but I don't have the muscle or the programming, whatever, or the money to set up a payment system, because that's a whole problem right there. So I can
A
have
safe payment
route
system.
the payments could come through you.
Correct.
So you just give me on the site somewhere they can pay, but then the payments come to you and I get them from you. So
Correct.
you handle all that legal, financial stuff.
Correct.
Let me-
And we make it easy for you as the person. So I want to go a step further and look for a guy who doesn't even have a website.
Yeah.
You at least you have your Mr. Kareke website.
Santa Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Thingies.
Yeah.
So there's also a guy who doesn't have. He just has
A product.
this necklace that
Yeah.
Chaxi is wearing,
Yeah.
right? He has the
Forgot to say
thing.
the dope necklace.
The
Jack's
dope
wearing,
necklace
Ask where
Chaxi is
he- ask
wearing,
him
you
what-
know?
Yeah.
This guy who's
doesn't
selling this thing, right? I don't know if he's built a website yet.
Yes.
But imagine he hasn't. All I want him to do is take a picture of it, come onto the thing. I've created templates for stores so he can set up Chaxi's necklace store. He can upload that product. He can put 1,500 bob as the price because it looks like a really dope necklace. Shouldn't be cheaper than that. Put it at
Not
1,500
looks
bob.
like it is actually is.
Put it at 1,500 bob,
Uh-huh.
and then be able to share a link to this necklace when Chaxi wears it and say, yo, you need to buy the dopest necklace, click here.
Yeah.
And someone should be able to click, pay the 1.5 and have this necklace
Delivered to their doorstep.
Exactly.
So because you have different categories of things that people can purchase on Mookh,
Yes.
what is the one category that brings in the most money? That makes you drink every day in December?
I wish I drank.
What is the
every day
category
in
that is your
December.
sponsor?
That category hasn't reached yet, but the current highest earning category is ticketing,
Okay.
only because it's the most developed. So when
And you
we,
guys make,
we make a commission
Yeah.
on ticket sales.
you want to say what commission you make?
Yeah, it's
It's
public
public
information.
information,
It's
yeah.
8%.
10%?
So 8%.
Not 10%?
Best rate in the market. The competitors charge 10%, but we
Okay,
charge 8%. We're
8%.
people.
All right.
You know, I got you.
All right.
8% only.
And the money comes in what? 3 hours?
Yeah, like if
After
it's-
the event?
yeah,
No,
it's
no, when
M-Pesa,
you-
if it's
When you withdraw, it just comes in.
just directly to you.
Oh, wait. So if I'm selling tickets,
Mhm.
I can get access to my money before the event?
No, you get access to the money after the event. See, Roche is a musician. His platform is a little different, but he can withdraw money as soon as it comes in. If you buy his album now, he can withdraw that money.
Okay, he doesn't have an
immediately.
album, but yeah,
It's coming.
when he has an
In
album.
2019, when we were
Actually, I
buying
have
the
stuff
album.
on Mookh to sell. I have a song that is sold on Mookh.
Just one song out of all the songs you have?
Out of all the songs I have, one song is sold on Mookh.
One step at a time. Haba na haba, haba na
But I also
haba.
do
But sometimes
for my
10
event.
steps at a
Actually,
time,
for my
though.
event, I go through Mookh.
Yeah.
And that's why I can vouch for it.
Why
Basically, what
do
I
you
want
choose
is a
Mookh
job as
over
a
the-
brand ambassador for Mookh. Huh?
Why do you choose Mookh over the other
Get your
existing
hoodie.
online
Yeah, I got
platforms? Because you've used Mookh before.
Yeah.
You've interacted with the platform, not to buy anything,
Yeah,
but to actually
even to
sell
buy
a
and
product
buy, yeah.
that you do. Sindio? So why would you choose Mookh over the other available ticketing platforms?
Well, let me tell you, in this country,
Aside
A
you
lot
knowing
of-
Porgie
other
as a
than
friend.
that, other than
And-
that,
yeah.
other than that, it's literally kind of cool. Like it has a vibe. Like
It's
there's
not
a vibe.
all over the. Yeah, if you go to the website,
honestly,
because I've
there's a
seen these
vibe.
other
As-
websites.
Yeah,
they're all
thing
over
is,
the place for sure.
Let me tell you, there's something about colors and certain colors like these ones. They kind of excite you.
And simplicity as
and
well.
simple.
Yeah.
So you go to the website. It's not complicated. If you have the link to the ticket, you click on the link. It shows you. You just say, I want this much tickets, and it calculates how much it is you need to pay, and you click and you pay and you leave. Then when you go into the that is I'm just saying for myself.
Yeah.
When you're getting on the page, there's not a lot of noise. It's just
It's not all over the place.
It's not there's,
simple.
there's no noise.
Straightforward.
You
Because
click.
I've seen
That's why I like it.
Yeah.
That's
I've seen
me.
these other pages, especially one that I cannot talk about, but one of the platforms that came earlier. And if you look at tabloid websites, the Mpashos and the Gafflers,
Exactly.
bro, it looks exactly. When you go to the page, everything is happening on that page. It's really
so we're
confusing.
not gassing you up. You have
No,
a
so
website.
I'll tell you where that comes from, because it's also it's not something that we stumbled upon. It's very intentional. Before we had a platform, we had the logo. Before we had the logo, we had the colors,
Yeah.
right? And there's all these conversations around building a brand. So Mookh for us is a brand. The yellow and dark gray, it's actually not black, is the brand color. And then how it plays on the website. So we are very design driven. There's a guy, and this is an interesting story. When we first put out the first version of Mookh and were able to sell music, one of the guys who signed up to sell his music is a young guy called Leon Omondi, also
Okay.
known as Manchild. So Manchild came, put up a few tracks that he was working on. He's a producer, artist mostly, but mostly producer. And he put up some tracks, and as he was using the platform, one day he sent us a message and he's like, yo, I had some thoughts on how this layout can be a little better.
Nice.
So we were like, yo, come in, let's have a chat. In fact, how did you find Mookh? How did you decide to put your tracks? And the guy was just like, yo, I was scrolling, blah, blah, blah. And from that day for about a year, Leon helped us redesign the Mookh that we currently use. How the pages look, how the pages flow, what the colors are, how they interact with each other. And we've grown our design team, so we do have 3 designers who work on the team. But from that mentality of even you as an artist or you as a merchant who's using the system, what's the way you want to interact with it? Because our customer is not the end user, it's the seller. The customer for Mookh is the seller. The guy who I want to make happy is the guy with the business. The guy who comes and is able to have a dashboard and they can navigate and they can set things up. Now, if their customers are happy, this guy is happy. So your customer, when they come and they're like, yo, I went to that page, it was so clean. Your event page looked so dope, it was so quick. Your customer likes you more, but then you're just like, yo, this book guy's got me. But the design perspective of it is something that we're keen on, because once you get the design right, you can build the rest of the experience around that.
Which is, okay, sure, proceed.
I believe in things being easy.
Okay.
Because even if the website came with a manual, nobody reads manuals nowadays. Like, I get a phone with a manual, I'm like, what the hell is this? You're just causing more pollution. No one reads. I want a phone, if I know, you don't have to tell me how to turn it on. I can turn it on. You know, I can go through, I can do that. So if I get into a website
and if you can't, you'll Google how to do it. You don't read a manual.
But now we are even lazier. If I get into your website and I have to look for a tutorial to learn how to navigate your website, I'm out.
For sure.
Every time people ask us to make like how-to videos to show guys how to buy stuff, we're like, we need to then change our process.
Exactly.
Because you don't need a how-to video. It should be automatic that if you come, you need to click here, then go to that yellow button and you'll be good.
And I like something that you mentioned. You said this guy hit you up, the Leon guy, and had feedback. Because end of the day, if I'm your client, then I'm the guy who's making you money. If I don't exist, you don't make money.
Correct.
And if you don't exist, I'm not able to get my music or my product out to as many people as I could reach through a platform like Mookh, right?
Correct.
So I like the fact that you said, if I have feedback, if I sell my product and I come to you and say, this is what my product looks like on the website, but I think if we did ABCD, my product will look better, and I'm able to get factor X, Y, Z into how it looks to whoever is buying. So that means guys taking feedback. And the thing about the online space is you have to be always innovative. Your website can't look the same way 2 years from now.
Correct.
It will look bogus 2 years from now, right? So you have to keep changing it. And the fact that you guys are easy and accommodate change is a good thing. And which would bring me to the next question that I'd like to ask you is, with the way the space is looking, and many people now embracing tickets, because you're in that business, do we have more advanced tickets being bought online, or we have more tickets being bought at the gate?
No, more now are being bought advanced. When we started in 2005, and for the year and a half after that, the most we ever sold of any event was 30%. 30% of their total tickets allocated were being sold in advance. Everything else was being done at the door,
gate.
Right?
Because you have guys at the gate as well.
We have guys at the gate.
Yeah.
But even when we weren't the guys doing the thing at the gate, you'd find, hey, we've sold 200 ticos. Then you go for the gig and there's 1,000 people. And you're like, hey, these guys, they didn't want to buy tickets or what happened? But they'll come and they'll line up and that. Over time, you start to show them convenience. First, gate tickets are normally more expensive. So it's like, okay, I can save some money. 2, if I have my ticket, if they come and the line is faster for the advanced tickets, I can go in. 3, we're having gigs that are selling out. And one of the things that I think also helped to build a culture is, you see, back then, smaller events never ticketed because it was too complicated to figure out ticketing for a small gig of 50 people. But now if you have 50 people, you just come set up your gig, you sell to your 50 guys, it sells out. When consumers start to see sold out, it just takes you 3-4 events of sold out for guys to know, if I really like this gig that's coming, I'm not risking being locked out, so I'm buying. So now, the ratio, depending on the audience, is between 70 and 100% of tickets being sold in advance. as we speak, for example, New Year's Eve, we have a bunch of events. People like Kilifi are already closing their advance tickets because whatever they'd set for advance, they've already hit, right? And that gig is still 5 days away. So there is things like those happening that are helping the culture shift into people knowing I do need to secure my ticket in advance.
But have you because I see that is the most weird ringtone I've had, but it sounds
beautiful.
good. The track is fire.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So now I've seen a couple of gigs even before with an artwork that says maybe on Instagram, 60% sold out or tickets sold out. And there's so many that I see and I'm like, this is just a PR way to make guys buy tickets. Have you seen clients who've said 50% sold out, but on your back end you're like, bruh, you just sold 20 tickets. Why are you saying you've sold out 50?
So,
I'll be honest and say I've seen 2. I've seen 2. However, here's the thing.
Do you want to give them a shout for the year?
No, like big up to you guys. Big up to you guys. I hope that thing worked. But it's 2 out of like 500.
Yeah.
So for me, the assurance is that I would understand 3 years ago if people did that as a way to changamsha guys.
Yeah.
Now you don't need to lie to people.
Yeah.
You know, and also like the world is small, bro. It's like you can't say 50% na mimi Chaksi Nairosha tuna tickets. Who are the guys?
Who is this guy?
Who are the guys
who
who bought it?
who
The
are
3 of
these,
us
yeah.
haven't bought.
Yeah.
I think I saw
So-
that the other day, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
I thought
so-
it was I thought I would use it one day.
No,
Yeah.
there are people who use it as a gimmick. The thing about it is that it's 2-factor, and this one now it's ni wewe na Mungu wako, because there's a chance of you saying that, and then people are like,
Oh shit, they're gone.
they are gone.
Yeah, they are gone.
And then
So I
make
need to
another
figure
plan.
plan B for the
Plan
same
B.
day.
So now you think you've tortured guys to all rock up,
But you've just
but you've
scared them
just
away.
told them,
Yeah.
gate closed.
So
So now
So
you
find
continue.
a plan B. Yeah.
So, but then there are other people who see that and then they rush. There are people who read their 50% sold, and then now you see them actually hit that 50%.
Yeah.
So the mechanic is different. Me, I can't guarantee you that telling people 80% sold will get people to buy more.
Yeah. You strike me as a very planned person, and by planned,
Thank you. You know, so I'll take that as a compliment.
what's up, bro? So looking at where Mookh is right now, in 2 years from now, what do you want Mookh to look like, and what areas of e-commerce would you want Mookh to be part of and be able to plug into?
I love it. So in the plan, number one, Mookh is a Pan-African platform, right? Our plan is not to build a dope platform for Kenya. Kenya, as we said, is a silicon savannah. It's a nice spot to come and build technology. Also, because of the audience here, we have the most segmented like human beings in this place. You have your experts, you have your guys for the hood, you have your guys for Westie, you have your guys, all those guys. Once you've learned these people, 7 different types of humans, you can operate anywhere in the world. So immediately we're taking over East Africa, because the same needs we have here are needs across East Africa. You go to Uganda, they have 10 times the event market we have. They still buy physical tickets.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, they still rock up to the door to buy tickets.
Yeah, but I mean, if they've had Museveni for 100 years,
So we can change
not
them
surprised,
one
yeah.
step at a time.
For sure.
So 1 gig at a time, we go in, we start to do it. That gig already exists, so we're gonna go in. So January, Mookh begins operating in Uganda. We're also
kudos
doing the
to you,
same
bro.
in Rwanda.
Some really good stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
After that, we continue to spread the wings. My vision is this: the thing online and online payments will change is the exchange of Mookh. So the things that young people like currently across Africa is almost exactly the same. The sneakers you have on, if we went to Ghana, the kids in Ghana will be like,
just so you see
he's
what
not
Mookh is
just
talking about.
kidding with these
Hey,
kids. eh?
just do it. Uh-huh.
So we need to be able to actually make the word global economy make sense.
Okay.
So me, I want a guy to listen to Erosha's music from Ghana or from Rwanda or from Uganda and be like, this track is dope, buy the track, they'll pay in their local currency, and Erosh will collect his 1,000 bob
In Kenyan
Nairobi
shillings.
instantly.
Thank you.
All right? The thing that has exchanged there is Mookh.
Wait, when that happens, 10% to my bank account. Thank you. Uh-huh.
Why?
for having you on the... He's just kidding.
Umsana kwanga mslow. Proceed, asante bro.
So, if we're able to do that, and the barriers to that right now are I like to call them smoke walls. Yani, the things that are barriers are not really barriers. So, it's difficult to move money between countries. But that's just if you need to actually move the money.
Yeah.
But if this guy in UG is willing to give me the equivalent of 1,000 Kenya shillings in UGX, I'm happy to give it to Erosh on this other side because he's letting me keep 8% of it anyway. So in that 8%, I'll factor in the difference, but make sure that his business can grow. Yeah. Which means that in a year, he can go to Uganda and do a show. He'll still put his tickets on Mookh.
On Mookh, yeah.
Because now he knows there's 100 people in Uganda who like his music, who bought his album.
Yeah.
So we'll put a show for those 100 people. They will tell their friends and thingy. But now Roshtos being an artist who's in Nairobi doing his gig, we now have a folk fusion in Rwanda.
And in Uganda.
And then the artist who will come and cut and raise for him at that gig will be like, yo, what's this platform? Even us, we have a gig. Yeah. Which is exactly how we grew here.
And at the same time, the music is still on the same platform.
Same platform.
Yeah.
Same system, same management.
If he wants to sell his Muratina, still on the platform.
On the platform.
Yeah,
right.
No, that's you need to keep that on
undercover.
What are you doing? This government is I know.
The Karike Muratina special.
So Porgie, what is that one song that we're listening to at the moment? It doesn't have to be a new song. It could be a song that was recorded in 1200 before Christ. But it's what you're listening to now.
There's two songs I'm listening to actually.
Okay.
I'm listening to Mungu Halali by Blinky Bill.
Mungu Halali.
Because Mungu Halali for
I have crazy vocals.
For real. Yani, if you see where we are now and where we've come from, you know Mungu Halali for real. And then the second one is a track called Hivi Hivi by Wakadinali.
Okay.
Off of their new album.
I don't know. But
I know
Cockpit.
I know Wakadinali.
Ska, bro.
Wakadinali.
That kid is fine.
Cockpit
Shout out to
too.
Ska, man.
So off Ndani ya Cockpit. Actually, Ndani ya Cockpit is the album I've been playing a lot in December, the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
And Hivi Hivi is a big track. Unati is another big track. So Wakadinali is the album I'm listening to, and Blinky Bill. Those two albums are my December albums.
All right.
On replay.
I know you want to ask me what I'm listening to. Let me check. I'm listening to a guy called Benji. I don't know where I think he's from the UK. Let me check.
Yeah, more Kenya is allowed as well.
Pole. Sorry. This is the country. Hi.
Yeah, this is the country.
Benji flow. It's called Deep End. I like the jam.
Deep End.
Yeah.
I'm listening to this new Jamaican sensation. She's 18 years old. Her name is Kofi.
Oh.
I know she has the new song called Toast that everyone is playing, which I think is the biggest song at the moment across all genres. But I'm listening to her song that dropped last year called Burning.
I'll check it out.
Sick. That kid is sick, bro.
Similar to Coffee, you need to check out a chick called Amidi.
Amidi?
Yeah.
Where is she from?
Also Jamaica, young. She has a song called Pine and Ginger. Fire.
Sounds like a good combination.
Pine and
Fire.
ginger.
Yeah.
It's a
ginger.
good combination, man.
Although it sounds like
so if you like coffee, Amidi is like, and she's I think 15 or 16.
Shit.
So in terms of discovering where the talent is going, and that's a big thing for us as Mookh.
Yeah.
One of the things we're really trying to achieve is creating a platform that people can discover good East African or African content, music, ebooks, photographers, events. How can people discover that this stuff exists? This is one of the best avenues actually, that people will listen to this, and just from this part of the conversation there's 6 artists that they'll discover.
Sign up for Mookh, yeah, for sure.
So those 6 artists that you just discovered, there's like 1,000 more, man. Go back to the site and check mookh.com. But yeah, go check. Like, it's big for people to discover, and we don't have a curious culture. We're not sitting like 1% of the people in our community will go sit and listen to something that they've never listened to before.
Which I've been thinking about that. Like, how do people discover music? Like,
they don't. Somebody has to tell them.
Yeah.
There needs to be a trigger.
Yeah, there has to be a trigger. Yeah,
we want to be that trigger. We want to be that friend who tells you what new stuff is happening. Because naturally,
we consume what we're already aware of.
Correct.
So until something triggers you, it's almost anything else that is not within what you're aware of is non-existent. Guys, I'm so smart, bro. Ish. So Porgie, where can guys find you online? JUS Porgie, then now Mookh as well.
Okay, on Instagram, m.porgie. The M is for Mookh, so mookh.porgie.
Wow.
You can also check out our page, Mookh.Africa. On Facebook, I have my government names just because, Facebook imekuwa kama serikali. It's like a school.
Yeah.
You have to have, so George Porgie Gashui. George Gashui is actually my real names. I started using Porgie in 2014. And it wasn't by choice. It was because there were many Georges around me, and the chicks had to differentiate us somehow. So the chubby one became Georgie Porgie, and then they dropped the Georgie, and it just became Porgie. So my mom calls me Porgie everywhere I go. Right now, if you tell people George, they're like, "Who's that?" Even if he came to my office and said he came to see George, I'm like, "Hakuna George huku." But they call me Porgie as well. And then check us out, man. www.mookh.africa. That's where we live. That's where we make our MOOC.
All right. Turn up. Anyway, I'm happy we had this conversation, by the way. I go by the name Arosh Official on Instagram and everywhere else. Remember to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Sawa, mimi nimemaliza.
All right, and we are Just Kidding Podcast across all the social media networks. I go by that guy Chucks across the same networks. Until next year, bless.